I still don't know what we saw, a slip in time, something else, but it's stayed with me. I was 10. My aunt picked me up after school with my cousin, Drew. He was my age. My older cousin Mia had just gotten her license. She liked driving us places, even for errands. That afternoon, she had to return a jacket at a shop. We knew this road, wide open stretch, same trees, same curves. Then out of nowhere, a fair, a full carnival, neon glow, spinning rides, a towering Ferris wheel. One arm swung high in slow, deliberate arcs. The colors were sharp, too sharp. Drew and I lost it, begged, yelled, pleaded. Mia laughed, said number, maybe later. She took the exit before the fairground. She knew a shortcut, through a back lot. She was good with shortcuts. We stepped inside the store, but outside, the scent of kettle corn drifted through the breeze. Sugar and oil thick in the air. We smelled it inside. We were only gone for 20 minutes. Back outside, the air felt still, cold. The scent had vanished. None of us said a word. We just climbed in the car, ready to head back to the fair. Same road, same turn. The fair was gone. No lights, no crowd, no crushed grass, just empty fields. Still, silent. We stared. Drew whispered, "Where did it go?" Mia slowed the car. My aunt turned to us. Nobody spoke. It wasn't possible. The Ferris wheel, the rides, the shrill voices of kids, gone. We all saw it. We all smelled the grease and sugar. We were awake, and yet nothing remained. It was 3:50 in the morning, the kind of hour where silence does not just fill the air, but it presses down on you. I had my thermos in hand, and my boots were tight, and the familiar sting of winter teased the edges of my ears. It was not freezing yet, but it was sharp enough to make you blink twice. My walk takes half an hour, so I always take the same route. It is a narrow, forgotten trail that threads behind some old warehouse yards. To the left, there is a ridge that plunges toward abandoned train tracks. To the right, there is a fence so rusted it looks like lace in places, and it barely holds back the thicket of crooked trees beyond it. Usually, it is uneventful, so the morning was no different at first. Dead quiet. I might spot a fox now and then, because they are slim and alert, and their coats bristle under the street lamps. About 10 minutes in, I reached the bend where the trail climbs, so that is when I saw him. A figure, still, stationed near the chain link gate that usually just hangs there with a padlock and vines half swallowing it. He did not move, not even a twitch. From that distance, he looked off because he was tall and stretched like a shadow standing upright. I did not stop, but I slowed, because people do not show up here before dawn, and when they do, they usually have a reason, like a dog or a bike or something. Not him. As I drew closer, about 20 meters, maybe less, he turned. His gaze found mine like it had been waiting. Then he pulled his hood over his head. He put on fingered gloves. He wrapped a scarf up to his eyes. Each movement was deliberate and slow like theater. He never blinked. He never looked away. I moved instinctively, so I crossed to the far edge of the path. He stepped down from the gate and started walking toward me. Something in my chest curled. Not panic yet, but something old and wordless. A signal from deeper than thought. I stopped walking. He did not. 10 meters. Then 5. Still silent. I do not know what gave way, because maybe it was instinct, or maybe it was fear pretending to be logic, but I turned and ran. Hard. I did not look back. Just boots on gravel and breath clawing through my lungs and heartbeat louder than anything else. I made it to the ridge, and I risked a glance. He was halfway up, not chasing, just there, watching. When he saw me looking, he stopped. He turned. He walked back down the trail and began unpeeling his gloves, like nothing had happened. That detail about the gloves is something I still think about. At work, I could not sit still, so I told someone while joking it off. One of the early shift guys said he had seen a man matching that description too. Same path, same hour, walking dead center in the dark, like he owned it. I have walked that trail hundreds of times, so I still do. But since that morning, I do not take my time anymore. I do not linger. I have never seen him again. I hope I never do. It is strange how some moments do not fade. I am nearing 50 now, and yet that one morning from when I was just 15 still clings to me like smoke. Sometimes I will be doing something ordinary, therefore washing dishes or walking the dog, and the memory rushes back. And when it does, my hand curls in without permission because it remembers something I wish I did not. I was living with my aunt and uncle on a quiet patch of land, just far enough from everything so it felt detached. Not the middle of nowhere, however, certainly not close to anywhere either. That morning they had gone into town and my cousin was out of state on some school program. So I had the place to myself, and that soft kind of solitude is something teenagers do not realize they will miss until they are older. I slept in, of course, and that is when the dream found me. It was not like other dreams. There was no color and no dialogue, therefore, just the dim outline of our living room and an overwhelming sense of presence. The curtains had been left slightly open, like always, and through that slim space I could feel them. Dozens, or maybe more, shapes not human and not monstrous either. Observers is the word that fits best. I did not see eyes or faces or fingers, however I knew they were watching every breath I took. Then things got even stranger, and I do not know if I woke up or just shifted into some halfway state, but I left my room. And I turned at the hall by the bookshelf and walked to the landing. From there, you could see the back porch through the stairwell. There was always light there because of those sheer yellow curtains my uncle never bothered to close. He liked the openness, and he said it made the house feel honest. That is when I saw him, standing at the door and still as a tree in dead air. His expression was not curiosity or confusion, instead it was something harder, a fixed hate, like he had been nursing it for years and had finally found where to pour it. His skin looked like sanded stone, and it was pale but with texture. His eyes were empty of light and full of meaning. I did not want to know what kind. And then came the touch. A deliberate glide across the center of my palm. Not harsh and not threatening, just wrong. A sensation too real to ignore, yet too foreign to belong. I gasped and I blinked. I was suddenly standing right in front of the door. No one was there. Nothing. The porch was still. The trees stood frozen. Not a whisper of wind, just silence stacked on silence. To this day, I cannot decide whether I was already awake before that happened or if the touch pulled me out. But I know with every nerve in my spine that it happened. Something reached for me, and something wanted me aware. We stayed in that house for a while after. Things happened, and they were small things. Lights flickering at odd times, and doors that never quite shut right, but nothing like that again. Still, sometimes when I pass by a window and catch my reflection, I check a little longer. Not because I expect to see anything, but because deep down I wonder if something is still watching, and maybe it never left.